आज ही डाउटनेट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनेट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सोल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
P, Q and R are integers. Is PQ plus R even? Given that P plus R is even and Q plus R is odd. Let's look at the first criteria first. It is P plus R is even. And we've been given that all of them are integers. Now, if for the sum of two integers to be even, either both of them have to be even or both of them have to be odd. There's no two ways about it. They can either be both even or both odd. They can't be one even and one odd. Like P can't be even if if R is odd, and P can't be odd if R is even. Okay, so in a sense we've established a direct relationship between P and R, that is R varies directly with P. If P is even, R is even. P is odd, R is odd. This is just a way, just to give a vague idea. This is not really an exact relationship, but anyway, Q plus R is odd. Now from the previous discussion, both of them can't be the same. Okay, if Q and R both are even, this would turn out to be even. If Q and R both are odd, this would turn out to be odd. So either Q has to be even. If Q is even, R is odd, and if Q is odd, R is even. So we've sort of or underlined a inverse relationship between Q and R. This is just a vague statement. That is, when Q is even, R is odd, and when Q is odd, R is even. So they vary inversely, just to say. Okay, so PQ, that is the multiplication of two integers. Now we know that if P is even, R is even, and Q is odd. Okay, since P is directly proportional to R and Q is inversely proportional to R, just to understand. Okay, and if P is odd, Q must be even. Okay, if P is odd, R is odd, and Q must be even. If P is odd, R is odd, Q must be even, and if P is even, R is even, Q must be odd. So we have established that P into Q is the multiplication of two different types of numbers, odd into even or even into odd, depending on the sign or depending on the type of number P is or Q is. So even into what? Let's take an example. 2 into 3, that is 6. Basically every time we have an even number in multiplication with an odd number, we always get an even number, since the basic criteria of being an even number is being divisible by 2, and if we're multiplying anything by a number that is already divisible by 2, then the whole number would obviously be divisible by 2. So PQ is even regardless of whether P is the odd one or Q is the odd one. Okay, this is always even. Now let's look at R. Now let's say P is odd, R must be odd, Q must be even. P into Q is always even, but if P is odd, R is odd, and even plus odd. If R odd, PQ, that is even, plus R, that is odd, turns out to be odd, since we're adding an even integer and an odd integer, which results in an odd integer. And if R is even, PQ, which is even, plus R, even, is equals to even. So the value of PQ plus R depends on R. Okay, if R is odd, PQ plus R odd. If R even, PQ plus R is also even.
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट, IIT, जेई मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनेट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।